One cold winter morning, the train arrived in St. Petersburg. A thin man with eyes shining with innocence and serenity stepped out. His name was Prince Lev Mishka, a young man in his late 20s, returning to his homeland after years spent in a mental institution suffering from epilepsy. However, he wasn't crazy, he had a pure heart, unbelievable in a society filled with deceit and injustice. On the train, he met a man named Porvaidon Raukajan, who had inherited a vast fortune and lived a life filled with violence and madness. They spoke of only one woman, Nastasia Filipovna, the woman whose love and madness dominated Raukajan's life. Raukajan said with a sarcastic smile that he wanted to buy her love, while Mishkin answered with deep calm that love can't be bought, it's gift. Little did he know that this sentence would become the key to the story's deep conflicts. Mishkin arrived at the home of General Abinka, one of his relatives, and found himself in a strange world of aristocracy. He became acquainted with the general's family, especially with Iklay, the general's young daughter. She was intelligent and rebellious, but she had a heart burning with longing for something different from the superficial aspects of society he saw. The prince was amazed by his straightforward, honest conversation, and they considered him strange and perhaps even foolish. However, the prince's life would change when Nastasia Filipovna entered the scene. She was a beautiful, seductive woman whose life was turned into tragedy by a wealthy man who adopted her and exploited her. Despite her femininity and strength, she became an outcast in society. Nastasia was a woman burning with hatred and pain, but deep inside, she was searching for selfish. At one of her birthday parties, where one of the guests offered her 100,000 rubles as a bribe to marry a wealthy man, the prince suddenly stood up and loudly declared that he was ready to marry her immediately, regardless of her past or what people would say, shocking everyone. Nastasia laughed at first, then burst into tears. She couldn't believe anyone could see her as a real person, but for a moment, she felt this man might be her savior. However, she quickly ran away with Raukajan, the man who was obsessed with her and madly pursuing her. Months passed, and Prince Mishkin began to get closer to Iklay, who fell in love with him. However, an internal conflict rose between them, as Iklay directly asked the prince whether he loved her or Nastasia. He answered, confused and sincere, that he could not distinguish between love and pity, and that his heart was big enough for all kinds of love. As the wedding of Mishkin and Nastasia approached, hope filled hearts, but on the wedding night, Nastasia ran away with Raukajan. On that tragic night, Raukajan killed Nastasia, while the prince sat beside her dead body, silent and broke, whispering that Nastasia was looking for her death and that he